Alright, guys, so this is going to be a very long video because my boy Sperry, of course, has already gone over Toonfest's shortcomings, but I thought that I would get my 2 cents in on the subject because it is quite frustrating to see this sort of thing happen after, what is it? I think it's been 3 years since Toontown Rewritten started production, and it's been 2 years since the game was an open beta. You know, that being that reminds me. I sometimes forget that this game is still an open beta. It's been 2 years since we went into open beta, and it still isn't out of open beta yet. I I could just be ignorant to how long it takes a game to get out of open beta, but I don't know. I feel like comparing a modern game being 2 years open beta to Toontown being 2 years open beta in this day and age. I'm not sure. You can let me know down in the comments if 2 years is too long for this game to be an open beta. But yeah, I sometimes forget it's still an open beta. That it's not even quote unquote released yet, which it might as well be because this game is always going to be free to play. So it's basically released. And we will also be able to keep our tunes data. I remember when that wasn't going to be the case. And I'm sure glad they changed their minds on that one because this game is still an open beta after 2 years. But anyway, that's not the point of this video. Today, I'm here to talk about Toonfest. Not the Toonfest from almost a decade ago that was wonderful and whatnot in the real world, but I'm talking about this Borefest, this Crash Fest that is Toontown Rewritten's version of Toonfest that happens in-game. Now, first of all, Toonfest was delayed a lot. It was supposed to be on the 19th, and it ended up getting pushed back quite a bit. Now, I actually don't remember how much it got pushed back by, what the exact delay was, but I know it was quite the delay. So, that was the first sign that all things weren't well with Toonfest, that it was delayed by a lot, but you know, the fact that it was delayed, maybe they were working on it. Maybe they were, fixing it up and making sure that nothing would go wrong. But, of course, that wasn't the case. Ever since Toonfest came out, there have been a lot of problems. There was a time on, I think it was October 3rd, my boy Maxley Memer, go subscribe to him, his videos are hilarious, made a video on October 3rd where it was 7 p.m. and there were 80 people on the game. And this was all because of the update that, released Toonfest. So that update caused the game to not be able to be accessed by many people. Apparently there was a period of 45 seconds when the update came out where you could log on, and around 80 people actually were able to get on, but after that no one else was able to get on. So you release an update and the game's not even playable. You can't even log on. And not only that, but it seemed like the Toonfest grounds were broken because in that video that Alex made, he tried to get in a cannon that was in Toonfest and he got stuck and had to log out. So you release Toonfest, it's delayed. You finally release it. It causes people to not be able to log on, and stuff inside Toonfest is broken. So, I mean, what was the point of the delay if things are still just going to be broken? Now, I did not experience it firsthand because I did not get on for the time this was happening because I was busy with my college homework and all that fun stuff. Not really, but yeah, I had college to do. So, I wasn't around to experience it firsthand, but I had a bunch of my friends tell me that the game was going to absolute crap. And I was just thinking to myself, oh, Toontown Rewritten, will you ever learn? Will you ever release something without a hitch? Probably not. I really think that maybe they should have a test server, have a separate server, and have a select few tunes get on that test server and test things. I don't know how they would decide it, but it'd be nice, like in the old game. But I'm not sure how. I'm not sure if that would even work out. Actually, I'm pretty sure they probably have their own dev server to test stuff out, so that it probably wouldn't make that much of a difference if they have their dev server to test things out and things still break the game. So who knows? Maybe this is just the way it'll be when there's a new update. It's gonna break the game, and we're gonna have to suffer for a little bit. Maybe that's just that's just the Toontown rewritten way. That's just the way it's gonna be. Oh man, it's a really good thing this game is free because I would not pay for this crap ever again. Toontown. I mean, Toontown. It's maybe back in its heyday. I can see paying $10 a month for it being fair, but now it's just too outdated. I can't see anyone in their right mind paying $10 a month for this game. A lot of my friends, well, most of my friends that still play, tell me that they would not pay for this game, and I agree with them because it's just extremely outdated compared to the modern game. So it caused crashes, and the thing I have against Toonfest is it usually ends up failing in one way or another. Toonfest will be released and something in the game will just break. Like the first year of Toonfest was an absolute disaster. That was awful. You couldn't. It was so laggy, and if you tried to go into Toonfest and then your tune got stuck, you were basically screwed because once you tried to get back on the game, you would keep spawning in Toonfest, and you would keep taking forever to load into the game, and then you would end up crashing all over again, so you couldn't get into the game and you were screwed. And even if you did load into the game, it was so laggy that you didn't want to be at Toonfest and you didn't want to do anything. Of course, they did end up fixing it, but it took them long enough. Last year, I don't remember exactly how it went down, but I actually don't think there was anything major that went down last year. And then we have this year where everything just turned to crap again. There was a delay and it caused crashes and it basically broke the game. So 2 out of 3 years and the game just breaks doing Toonfest for 3 straight years, and on the 3rd year somehow you manage to screw it up again, even though you've been doing it for multiple years in a row. So I'm not sure. And the whole subject of Toonfest itself, I mean, this is a celebration that would be fun in the real world, but Toonfest in Toontown, like the way it is, it's just so painfully boring. Like when they first did it, the novelty of it was pretty cool. It was pretty fun to see something new. I mean, it wasn't a major content update or anything, but it was something new. That was cool to see. But now, I mean, it's basically stuff that you'll have some fun with it for maybe a half hour at most, and then it's just all right, whatever. I want to do something else now because I mean it's just some bullcrap little activities the last few minutes, like throwing pies and dummy cogs, or jumping on trampolines, or getting tokens to buy these items, which, I mean, that's the one okay thing about Toonfest to me, is there's exclusive stuff, but me personally, I don't care about stuff. It holds no meaning. You can't really do anything with it. I mean, it's cool to wear and whatnot, and cool to have it as a collectible, but like I said, I'm not really into that. Really, the only clothing items I care about is having the buckle shorts, because literally, I think all the other shorts in the game look kind of dumb. It's just how I feel personally. I'm sure you all have your opinions, but I don't like any other shorts beside the buckle shorts. So that's really the only piece of clothing I care about owning. Other than that, I really couldn't care less about any other accessories or clothing. So I feel like Toonfest in itself is a big waste of time, and I feel like Toontown Rewritten is wasting their time with a lot of the stuff they're doing because okay, we have Toonfest, and then we have the elections. We had the whole Flippy and Slappy thing a while ago, and now we have this Toon species thing, which I honestly don't really care about because whatever new species is, I probably won't actually make a Toon. I probably won't actually make a serious Toon of that species because I imagine I won't like the way it looks. I'll probably make it and do a task or two and then never play it again because I won't care enough. But and like Sperry said, this this election could possibly confirm that we don't actually get any more new content, new relevant content like another COG HQ, which that's what everybody wants. I don't what I don't understand is how does the main server in Toontown Online we had Disney, and I'm not gonna call them incompetent because they were basically done after they released Boss Fight HQ. They weren't lazy like a bunch of people say they were when it comes to releasing content. They were just done. That's all they had left. So, that's what we were stuck with. Okay, they were lazy sometimes with fixing the game and stopping hackers, but the whole content thing, it's just because they were done. They didn't have anything left. They were just going to release Boss Fight HQ and just let the game die, which they did. But Toontown Rewritten is a whole nother story. Just their complete unwillingness to give us what we want. They're working on all this stuff that I really don't care about, and a lot of my friends really don't care about. Like elections, Toonfest, like oh my goodness, like the whole story aspect of this game. And another thing I don't like about the game, what they're doing is that they're just adding all these little tweaks that ultimately don't mean anything, except the SOS cards. That was dumb. I already explained that though. We're not getting into that. But they're just little bitty tweaks that don't really mean anything, that I feel like it's just a waste of time. Like one of the first ones was the fire hose. It has a new animation for when they're not lured. I think you all know it by now, but I thought that was pointless. Like, ooh, it's like, ooh, look, it's funny. Okay, moving on. Now it's just a regular part of the game. It's a waste of time. And something I really, really don't like that they change is how you can't click Toon's names in the final rounds of boss battles anymore. Why? What's the point? It just makes things harder. Now, like, I get that they added those laugh meters above your head, but honestly, I feel like those get in the way more than anything. I don't like looking at those. I'd rather just, if I want to see a specific Toon's laugh meter, I'll just click their name tag, but I can't do that anymore. Do you know how much harder that makes the CEO? Okay, it doesn't make it more difficult, but do you know how much more annoying that makes the CEO? If I want to check on people's laugh, I have to like squint my eyes to see that little laugh meter above their head instead of just being able to click on their name and see it clearly. I just don't get that. I liked it way better when you could just click their name and see their laugh meter. I don't understand why we can't click names anymore. Also, another thing about the CEO that I really don't like is how at the end of the second battle round, when the final round starts, no matter where, if you were the first ones to finish and you tried to walk to a table and then the CEO round starts, your Toon is teleported back to where he was during the battle. I think that's dumb too. Like, I get it. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it fair for everyone to get a table, for everyone to have a fair shot at the table they want, but it's just a waste of time. Why expend your time and resources on that when you could be spending your time working on something better? I just feel like no matter what, Toontown will always be run by people who don't want to give us what we want. Disney didn't want to give us what we want because they were done with the game. So they weren't working on anymore. And Toontown Rewritten doesn't want to give us what we want because who knows? They want to work on this flippy and slappy stuff and Toonfest and the species elections and all that, and it's just ridiculous. And this is another reason why, if this game was a subscription based and you had to pay for it, I wouldn't play it. But because it's a free game and most of the game is basically unchanged as far as boss battles and tasks and the general gameplay goes, it's like unchanged. It's nostalgic for me. That's why I still play this game, because it's nostalgic. And I've started, and another one of the reasons I started playing again is because I kind of changed the way I played, because I feel like this game is better as a background game. Basically, when I play, I'm usually doing something else as well, like watching videos or listening to music or talking to friends or watching a TV show or anime. That's usually what I'm doing when I play the game. I never just play Toontown. It's usually I'm doing something else and then I'm playing Toontown. Toontown is just a background game for me because it's something nice and relaxing you can do. It's something that doesn't take a lot of effort. You can just chill while you play. It's something to do with friends as well, and you can just feel like you're doing something. That's why I like Toontown. That's why I found myself enjoying the game again. But all that being said, I really don't like the way. I really don't like the direction the Toontown Rewritten team is taking this game in. I just don't see any real progress. They're just focusing on little bullcrap stuff like Toonfest and the storyline that nobody cares about. I just don't understand. Like, why would you work so hard on Toonfest? It's legitimately not that interesting. Like, it can hold your attention for like 20 or 30 minutes and then it just gets old fast because the stuff just doesn't hold anyone's attention. Like, why would you get on Toontown to go jump on a trampoline all day and whatnot and earn tokens to earn that stuff? Like, I don't get it. They wasted so much time, resources, and energy on that, and it's something that can't possibly hold someone's attention for that long. So, yeah, Toonfest. I feel like Toonfest was just something. It was cool in the real world. I wish I could have gone to that, but I was a little kid, so I didn't really have the power to go because I live in Georgia and that was in California and that's all the way across the country. So there was really nothing I could do. But this whole online version of Toonfest, it's a flop. I think it's a waste of time and it's not fun at all and it's not interesting. So, hopefully, what Sperry said about us never getting another major content update, hopefully it is wrong and hopefully they do have something up their sleeve because there is that door in Boss Fight HQ that you can't go in. I forget what it's called. I think it's called the Executive Office. Hopefully that's something big and that they're working on behind the scenes because that would be cool. But, if Sperry ends up being right and we never get a major content update for as long as Toontown Rewritten is around, I wouldn't be surprised. But we will see. Alright, guys, that's it from me. I will see you in the next one. Okay, I forgot to mention something. I forgot to talk about the new Toonfest in the real world, which, come to think of it, I feel like having another Toonfest in the real world, having that brought back to life, which I'm not gonna lie, even though it's probably not something I would go to because I feel like I don't know, I don't feel like going all the way to Kentucky just for Toonfest because I mean, I like Toontown and everything. I like playing it, but I don't like it enough to go to a convention that's out of state just to go to a Toontown related thing. I feel like that'd be a waste of money for me. But as cool as I think that Toonfest at OMGCon is, I feel like that kind of lessens. I feel like that gives Toontown Rewritten even less of a reason to have an online Toonfest. I mean, why have two of them? Why? Like, just have the one in the real world and just leave it at that because like I've been saying, this online one is just a complete waste of time and it's not interesting at all and it's not fun at all. It's not going to hold anyone's attention. So I think that they should just scrap this whole online Toonfest thing and just stick with what they're doing with OMGCon because even though I probably won't ever go to that, it is actually legitimately cool and it is actually interesting to see all this cool Toontown stuff in real life. I'm not gonna lie, they have done a really good job with everything related to Toonfest. I mean, there's all this cool stuff that they made, this cool Toon stuff, this cool cock stuff. It looks very professional and I think it's cool, but like I said, I would not go to it because I just don't have enough interest to go to Kentucky just for Toonfest. But like I said, you know, just keep on going with this OMG-Con thing because it's pretty cool. I won't lie, but yeah, if you're gonna do that, then there's no point in having this online Toonfest. I mean, Toontown Online, it had a Toonfest in the real world, and that was enough. It didn't need a Toonfest online because it already had one. It didn't need a Toonfest online. What was the point? So, they did it the right way. So, I'm hoping that Toontown Rewritten can look at that and think, huh, yeah, it makes sense to only have Toonfest in the real world because there's just so much more they can do with an event like that. They can like with the panels where you can ask questions and all the stuff you can buy. Buying souvenirs in real life, that's way cooler than buying souvenirs in an online game. This video, alright, well, at the beginning I said this video wasn't going to be long, but this video is about as long as my last one, so I'm actually going to go now. See you guys.